Welcome back to the Battle Cab. So I just finished watching this interview that I'm going to put a screenshot of up on the screen as I'm talking about it. It was Billy Joe Saunders sat down with Hey Fight Fans, Michelle Joy Phelps, and he said a couple of interesting things that I just wanted to kind of not react to, but just give my thoughts to, I suppose. Um, so the first thing that Billy Joe Saunders said was he kind of brought up himself about how there may have been a little bit of discontent or a bit of tension between himself and Frank Warren. I was unaware of this. I don't know where this rumor has come from, or whether it was a rumor or whether it was an actual fact. I literally had no idea. I just thought they were, happy together almost. Um, Obviously, Billy Joe Saunders got banned for failing a performance enhancement drug test, performance enhancing drug test, perhaps is a better way of saying it. But yeah, so he failed that test, and that's not really anything to do with Frank Warren. I don't think Frank Warren could have done anything to stop him getting the ban or stop him from. Well, he wasn't actually stripped from his title. He relinquished his title because of this whole drugs testing. But you guys already know that. But the point I'm trying to make is I'm not sure whether Frank Warren could have done anything different or done anything more to make the situation better for Billy Joe Saunders. So this is why I was unaware of any kind of tension between the two of them. So I found it quite interesting that Billy Joe Saunders brought it up himself. It wasn't something that Michelle Joy Phelps, Hey Fight Fans, brought up. It was him who kind of started that question, that kind of line of conversation, and he kind of, it felt like he was kind of basically saying that he had to think about what he wanted to do next, and he's decided to stay with Frank Warren, which is fine because I think Frank Warren's kind of navigated his career quite well. He's got him some decent fights. Maybe it could have happened sooner with other promoters, but who's to say? Things worked out quite well for Billy Joe Saunders. He's had some big fights, and he's won himself a world title along the way. And to be fair, Billy Joe Saunders has hardly been the most dedicated boxer throughout his career. You've seen him kind of come in the ring looking a bit podgy around the stomach and stuff like that. It's only really since he's joined the Ingle gym, and he's started to kind of really focus and knuckle down and really behave like an athlete as opposed to just do what he wants, and then when it's time to get into camp, he comes in as a fat shit, and he starts kind of, he uses camp to lose weight rather than to improve as a boxer, if that makes sense. So he seems to have kind of found a new focus and a new dedication to the sport, which is good because I like Billy Joe Saunders. He's a good fighter, and I like his the way he is, and I know he does some stupid shit and some stuff that is undefendable, but at the same time, I find him quite funny, to be honest, and he's quite a character, and you need characters in boxing. So yeah, so that was the first thing I was a little bit kind of surprised about, that I was unaware of. So if you do know what this tension was about, or where it kind of comes from, please feel free to comment below and let me know why there was any reason for Billy Joe Saunders to doubt Frank Warren, because out of all the fighters that Frank Warren's got, I think Billy Joe Saunders is the one that he's done the most kind of solid job with throughout his career. But that's just my opinion. It's not like I know the ins and outs of everything, and it's not like I know what's going on behind the scenes between the two of them. The most kind of interesting and important thing, I suppose, I wanted to talk about was how Billy Joe Saunders said he's got a 6 month plan. He knows he's got his next few fights mapped out, his next 3 or 4 fights mapped out. And towards the end of the interview, he basically said he wants Andrade next. So I made a video previously where I kind of touched on, I can't even remember which video it was, but I touched on the possibility of Billy Joe Saunders not taking that fight with Andrade because it was a mandatory slot, and he was only mandated to receive 25% of the total purse. And given the fact that they were scheduled to fight previously, while Billy Joe Saunders was the champion, and he was getting the lion's share of that purse. I thought he might find it a little bit I wouldn't say insulting, but the same fight when he knew he was making X amount and now he's going to be making, considerably less than that. He might not feel kind of motivated, or he might not feel like he wants to go back down that road, if that makes sense. He might feel like he wants to fight someone else where he's the A side, where he stands to make more money on BT Sport or something like that. But it was encouraging to hear him say that he wants to fight Andrade next. So it looks like that'll be, if what he's saying is true. So it looks like that fight can get made, and it will be in America on the Zone, I'd assume, because that's where the money's going to be coming from, especially in a scenario with the splits are like 75-25 in the favor of Andrade. um, Eddie Hearn, etc., have got a lot more to play with in terms of submitting offers for a purse bid if it comes down to that. um, so that was encouraging to hear him say that. But the thing that kind of intrigued me was him saying that he's got his next few fights mapped out. What does that mean? Does that mean that he's willing to, if he beats Andrade, face the winner of Canelo and Jacobs, and again travel away from home, and not be the A side again, etc. It feels like he really just isn't just there for just the money. It feels like he's got a point to prove, and his main kind of goal is to prove how good he is in that 160-pound division. So that's, for me, that's encouraging, because the way he was talking, he was very serious. He wasn't his usual kind of laughy, jokey kind of pervy self like he is when he's with uh, Michelle Joy Phelps. Hey, fight fans! Like he seemed more kind of serious, which is what you like to see from people when they're discussing their career. Not that you shouldn't have a laugh and joke, but I suppose there's a time and place. And yeah, man, I quite enjoyed watching that. It wasn't like his usual kind of interviews with Michelle Joy Phelps, where all he's doing is making kind of pervy remarks and stuff. Um, Kid Galahad was there on hand to do that. He farted, I think. I don't understand why these guys act like that when she's there. Like, okay, she's a good-looking woman, but fuck me, it's on camera, it's getting recorded, like, and you're coming across like, I don't know, man. It's just a bit childish, isn't it? Like, you get excited that there's a woman about, so you like act like a fucking school kid. Like, I don't know. It just doesn't sit well with me, man. Because, like, have a bit of respect for yourself. I don't know. But anyway, this is about Billy Joe Saunders. So yeah, man. I'm quite happy with the way he spoke and what he said, and things are looking positive. If it will literally be like a Jacobs vs Canelo, Andrade vs Billy Joe Saunders. That would kind of be like, two semi-final matches, and then you can get the final with the two winners fighting each other. And I'm not saying that's a foregone conclusion. There's a lot of things that happen in boxing, and it takes a lot for fights to be made, especially voluntary kind of matches like that, where it's not mandated the way it is with Andrade and Billy Joe Saunders. But still, man, if the kind of four best in the division are fighting each other, then so basically, I recorded what you've just heard last night, and the rest of what I recorded, for some reason, my mic cut out, so it didn't pick up any of what I was saying. So I'll just quickly, I'll just quickly recap what I said last night. So I suppose what I was trying to say is it kind of makes a little tournament with two semi-final matches, and then eventually you'd hope, or you'd think, that the winners of those two matches would fight each other. And then obviously you've got other people in the division. Obviously you got people like Triple G knocking about, waiting for a fight, and then you got a Charlo, Rob Brant, and people like that. So there's a lot of talent in that division, and what you see sometimes in a weight class is the best people kind of just fighting other people in like the top 10 or top 15, and you don't really get to see the fights with the best of the best fighting each other in that division. And it looks like we're in a position where that could happen in the middleweight division. And if that's going to happen, it's good that Billy Joe Saunders seems to be focused and ready for the challenge. So yeah, that's what I really wanted to say. It's kind of the most, and I feel like a dickhead saying this, but it's the most mature I've seen Billy Joe Saunders behave in an interview, and he's taking like the questions that he was asked, he was answering them seriously, and I don't know, man. I think this ban has been a bit of a wake up call for him, and it's just nice to see that it looks like he's focused anyway. So hopefully that continues, and hopefully he's able to carry that through to when he fights Andrade, and if that fight gets made eventually. But yeah, that was my little two pence worth on Billy Joe Saunders and that interview he had with Michelle Joy Phelps. Hey, fight fans! I'm gonna put a link to her interview with him in the description. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's worth a watch. And feel free to share your thoughts, comments below. Please like this video. Please share this video with your mates if you enjoyed it. And please, can you subscribe? Appreciate your time. Cheers. Bye.